Hello and welcome. We're up in the garden today, so I'm going to plant some raspberry canes. But while we're here, we take another quick look at this Paulownia tree that is still holding on to its blossoms. I'm really pleased. Where are we? Let's get up close and personal. Oh, I'm falling over some obstacles. There. Oh, where are we? We're trying to get you in shot. Here we go. These lovely Paulownia buds, still holding its buds. So I'm really pleased about that. We're now 20th, 21st of January. We've had a few pretty heavy frosts actually. So I am really hopeful that it's going to hang on to them. The longer it keeps them, the more excited I get. We might get something fun next year. So where are we going? Up this way. As I said, I've got some new raspberry canes. I've ordered and received 5 raspberry canes from Victoriana Nurseries in Kent. I'm quoting their name because it's been really good. They were really fast arriving. They've been beautifully packaged and came with an A4 sheet printed on both sides with care guide and instructions to help me look after my raspberry canes really well. My biggest problem when they got here is where on earth am I going to plant them? They're going to need a fence support of some sort, so I want to put them along a fence line. And although I have lots of fence line, there's already lots of things growing on my fence line. Grapes, I have lots of blueberries and blackcurrants against the fence unnecessarily, but that's where they are. The ideal place to be planting your raspberries would be in one of my beautifully prepared raised beds. But, as I said, they need a fence to support them, or stakes or canes or something. And my raised beds are all beautifully prepared, ready for growing my vegetables next year. This year. So I don't want to be giving up raised bed space for a few raspberries. So I'm going to have to tough it out in the world, along with the other fruit bushes. So I've decided, if I can pan it around, they're going to go along here. I don't know if you can see down there, I've got my coats hanging on a fence post, and I've already started digging a couple of holes. It's not ideal, as I say. The perfect ideal place would be to put them in my raised beds, and that would give me my healthiest plants and my best crop. But that's not what's going to happen. They're going to go in here along this fence. So where are we? There we go. So this is the ground I'm starting with. It is not at all ideal. Lots of grass. It does have a fence though, so I can tie them up the fence. It will get wind protection from the polytunnel on one side, and it's got a fence for support. So the first thing I'm going to do in my non-ideal position is tear up a load of this grass against the fence and dig me a hole. Where are we going to go? One there and one here, I think. This is going to be my raspberry spot. Woo, wobbly. First spadeful. Speeding up the film is great. If only I could dig holes this fast in real life, that would be wonderful. Having lifted off the turf, I'm going to turn it upside down between my planting hole and the fence line that I'm hoping to tie my raspberries into. That'll kill off the grass that's underneath there, and also the turf I've just put on top, because it's upside down. Nothing's going to grow with its roots in the air and its head against the soil. And now to dig me a nice deep hole. Well, not that deep, but 1 foot 18 inches. Now if the ground or the weather was dry, I would fill this hole with water now literally a whole watering can full, and completely fill the hole and wait for that to drain away before starting to prepare the hole to put my raspberry in. But it's been raining for weeks, and it's going to rain again for more weeks to come, so I'm not going to bother watering it in today. Next thing for this hole is a few spadefuls of my wonderful homemade compost. Now into this, just to make sure my raspberries get a really good feed, I've got a handful of bloodfish and bone. I'm just going to dust it over the surface and pop in a bit more compost. Another spadeful of compost, and some of the soil we dug out of that hole. That's a lumpy bit, and I'll put that up there. Some fluffy soil. Not all of it, about a spadeful, and mix that all together to give a lovely growing medium for my new raspberry cane. And we're ready to plant. Now the raspberries I've ordered are a thornless variety called Autumn Treasure. I haven't grown raspberries before because although I love raspberries, I don't like the prickles. So hopefully this will stay as a thornless raspberry. I've heard tales in the past of things being sold as thornless and turning out not to be, but I have every confidence this will be good. I already have a thornless blackberry and it's wonderful. So in we go and firm it down a little. And then I'm going to use the soil that I dug out of this hole to go on top of our composty layer. And finally a little top dressing of mulch to help keep that moisture in, keep the soil warm and suppress any weeds trying to grow up around my new plant. So I've got some bark chips that I'm going to use to create a mulch around my nice new raspberry. What I'm also going to do for this raspberry is get some chicken wire netting and make a protective circle around it, because I do have rabbits and deer who visit the garden. So we need to make sure it doesn't get eaten before I can get some raspberries. Only 4 more left to plant and I can go and have a nice well-deserved cup of tea. So bye for now, and we'll see you next time. Have fun!